a severe weather outbreak across portions of the Ohio Valley. This does include portions of um, Pennsylvania all the way back to portions of Illinois, and it extends all the way back to portions of Iowa. Thunderstorms are starting to develop along a front across the lake, the Great Lakes region. We have a few severe thunderstorm warnings. For some reason, the radar Omega was not picking up on these warnings. That's why I switched to weatherwise. But we have one damaging thunderstorm here with 60-mile-per-hour gusts and 1.5-inch size hail. This one is moving pretty quickly along here. It's got, if you can see there, if I go back just a notch here, it's got a bow going segment. If you look right in there, it starts to bow out a little bit. That's why it got warned, but it was originally warned well before that. This one is bow echoing, which is never a good sign, so expect damaging winds there. Stay away from windows because, well, just stay away from windows. That's the best option. We also have another severe thunderstorm warning located in portions of Stony Ridge and Kentucky. This is over in portions of Ohio as well. This one also looks like a damaging wind producer, most likely. This one is moving to, give it a second. This one just developed really out of thin air, if I'm being honest. This one is warned for 60-mile-per-hour and quarter-sized hail. And as we continue on, we are going to be watching this entire line. If we take a look at give me a second. Oh, there it is. Composite radar, you can see what's going on here. We have tons of convection happening. Give you 1 second here. So we have a couple thunderstorms that started developing in portions of Hoopstone. These are kind of those pop-up thunderstorms that just develop randomly. And then we have another, we actually have a special weather statement for portions of what lake is this? I forget. Lake Michigan, I believe it is, actually. This thunderstorm is moving to the east here. It's over in portions of Blue Island. This one almost looks like a hookup one, but I don't think this one is, is not tornadic at this point. So you can see, if there were to be any rotation, it would be right in here. Oh, we do actually have a bit of rotation. I would seek shelter immediately if you're in portions of Glenwood, Illinois. We have a rotating thunderstorm here. It doesn't look that way anyways. There could easily be radar contamination, but but I do think this is mostly just a damaging wind threat at this point. I'm gonna have to change that to give me 1 second here. Anyways, it doesn't look like there's specifically rotation, but if there would be, it would be right in here. I just think that's radar contamination. But if we take a look at the velocity again, you can see how strong that is. If this is a tornado, we're easily looking at easily over 100-mile-per-hour tornado, potentially EF1 to EF, closer to maybe even the EF2 tornado, if this is actually rotation. But I'm begging to differ that it is. I think we'll have to find out. We'll find out soon enough. Moving on. I do apologize for the lag. I think this is mostly a damaging wind threat, which, yet again, expect 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail, so it will be damaging at least at some point. Would not be shocked to see if this one near Crown Point to be warned as well for damaging winds. It has a little bit of a bow echoing segment. You kind of see it just kind of move around. It's got kind of a bow echoing segment. It's not technically severe at this time, but it could be developed in midair. As you can see, they just kind of developed just in a prime environment for really development. I apologize for the lag. I may have to switch to radar Omega. The only problem with that is this not. Let me take a look here. not picking up on the severe thunderstorm warnings, but if it does, we're going to switch over to radar Omega. I was meant to be live at 7 o'clock, but um, things got going a little bit quicker. Okay, alright, we're switching over to radar Omega. Give me 1 second here. That didn't take long. I didn't think it would because, you know. Alright, let me. Radar Omega it is. There we go. Okay. So, again, the lag is less, okay? Alright, so again, damaging thunderstorm moving through portions of Gary. This one looks like it has a lot of hail in it. If we can get some inflow in here and we can really get this thing turning, which I don't think we're going to be able to because this is right along a boundary here, right along the boundary of between cold air and warm air. And what we're going to see happen over the next several hours is this entire section over here develop into a bow echoing segment. And we're also going to see, you can already see this warm front here extend to the south, and this is going to create for a battle zone of severe weather. Um, and we'll show you the actual severe weather risk. Give me just a second. I want to show you this overall severe weather risk. Here's the overall severe weather risk. So it's kind of a mess, but I'll explain it to you. We have an enhanced risk of severe weather that extends from Cleveland and Ohio all the way back to portions of Illinois. This is going to be mostly for I apologize for that. Just give me 1 second. Hold on. Alright, we are back. So yeah, like I said, enhanced risk of severe weather is in this area here. We have a slight risk of severe weather that extends all the way from portions of western Pennsylvania all the way back to portions of Iowa and, sorry, not, excuse me, actually, yeah, Iowa and Missouri. Um, this one is the lowest of it all. And then lastly, we have a marginal risk of severe weather that extends all the way from the northeast all the way back to portions of um, the Central Plains. So yeah, busy night ahead tonight. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued for um, Bowling Green. It looks like mostly a hail. You can see a little bit of a hail core here and a little bit of hail core here. This is warned for um, 60-mile-per-hour gusts and clear sky scale. I think we're going to see a lot more in the way of severe thunderstorms here as we go in through the next couple of hours. Then we are going to see a tornado risk. I think the tornado risk is kind of going to be a bust tonight, and the reason behind that is because um, we have a little bit of a cap in place, and what I mean by that is, well, let me just show you. And if you're new here, please subscribe. Before we do that, actually, I need to change up these mesoscale discussions because we have some new mesoscale discussions that have been released by them, by the the SBC themselves. All right, let me pull these up real quick. So the first one has gotten dismissed, but we do still have one up. I don't think they're going to issue another one because it's a very small area that is in a severe weather risk today. Well, a relatively localized area. But give me just 1 second here to pull that up and put that on the screen for you guys. This may go through a slideshow, I think, but I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. I think it just may fade in and out. But here's the new mesoscale discussion here. Is it just going to fade in and out? No, it's going to stay. Alright, that's basically what I wanted. Okay, so notice the tornado potential is definitely the highest here. So we are looking at the potential for EF1 to potentially EF2 tornadoes, maybe a bit higher. I wouldn't be shocked in this area because there's a little bit of elevated STP, significant tornado parameter. Is my microphone just not loud enough? Does that do anything for you guys? Can you hear me? I think you can. Not completely. New severe thunderstorm warning did just get issued. I'll get into that in just a second. But again, 100 an EF1 to EF2 tornado is a possibility. We can't even rule out an EF3 probably. Damaging wind gusts in excess of 65 to 80 miles per hour, and obviously large hail in excess of 1.5 to 2.5 inches in diameter. So we are going to put that back where it belongs. Okay. Alright, and I will update that severe weather risk as well. I apologize, I'm not really prepared to go live. Give me 1 second. Let me get the severe weather risk. So, I'm sure you've seen by the screenshot, by the thumbnail, it is an enhanced risk is every reason why I'm going live, otherwise I would not be going live. It's not really worth going live at a slight risk of severe weather, just because the intensity of the storms are not very intense, but they are um, significant enough to be isolated to scattered thunderstorms that are severe. So the primary risk today is going to be for damaging winds and hail, and this unfortunately is a large, well, localized, and in the Ohio Valley area, a hatched risk of both damaging winds and hail. So this is going to be mostly a damaging wind risk. I do think. I still think there's a potential for at least a couple tornadoes. However, not not an insane amount of tornadoes. I don't think. I wouldn't be shocked if we see maybe as much as an 1 to 2 tornadoes, but I don't think we'll be dealing with that. There's a localized area that we could see though. The STP is really low, and the only thing really driving the entire severe weather risk is really just the damage really just the wind shear, which is about 40 to 60 knots, with isolated areas of locally higher. So there you go as far as the severe weather risk goes. So we're dealing with that again. That hatched risk, that brown area is a 5% risk of tornadoes, and then the green is a 2% hatched risk of tornadoes, and that's the enhanced risk. There's a tornado risk, as I just mentioned. Third is the damaging wind risk is by far the most concerning tonight, with the potential for up to 65 to 80 mile per hour winds, which is in a large hatched region, including the enhanced risk and the hail risk as well. Current timestamps are 4:56 p.m. CST, 5:56 p.m. EST, and 3:56 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time. You can follow me on social media at StratusFW on X and on Facebook at Stratus Forecast Weather. So we are covering a severe weather risk. I don't think we're going to see a ton of confirmed tornadoes today, just given the fact that there's a lot of capping in place today, quite a widespread area. So these storms should stay at least somewhat wind driven. But we have severe thunderstorm warnings lining up quite a bit. This didn't take long at all. So we'll start with the first one. So first one in Gary is up for 50 mile per hour gusts and quarter-sized hail. It kind of looks like a hook, but it's not. I don't think there's a tornado with this storm at all. You can kind of see here. We have a little area of broad rotation, but I don't think it's enough to be concerning right now unless the things start to tighten up. If we take a look at the actual, it looks like the gust front has winds up to 50 miles per hour, so definitely isolated power outages are going to be a potential here, unfortunately. And then, as you can see, this storm does not have a ton of inflow. You can see all these storms around it, which are all severe warned. We'll move on to these ones. This has been extended, by the way. It's the same thing. 50 mile per hour gust and quarter-sized hail. Moving on to this storm near Couts. Again, 50 mile per hour gust and quarter-sized hail. This has been extended into Knox for yet again 50 mile per hour gust and quarter-sized hail. This one looks more like a hailer than anything. They may upgrade the hail at some point. I'm not sure. Moving on, these storms are probably going to be the next ones to get warned because these definitely have hail. You can see hail core here, hail core here, hail core here, hail core here, and just a bunch of hail out of this little line of thunderstorms moving through with that load. So yeah, that will likely be one for hail, potentially damaging winds as well. And then just a cluster of thunderstorms as we pretty much expected, kind of just moving to the south and east. A little hailer up in Gilman. This severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Bloomington is for 60 mile per hour and quarter-sized hail. I wouldn't be shocked if they upgrade this actually because of this large hail core here. But this is all on a severe thunderstorm warning, which I kind of do agree with because the models have the most favorable conditions for tornadoes punched up into portions of the Ohio area mostly, with a very very thin corridor of any potential for tornadoes. They just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for parts of um, Pontiac Lake and portions of Pennsylvania. This is for 60 mile per hour gusts and quarter-sized hail, so yet another damaging thunderstorm. It's kind of out of the box now that you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Right here, this is going to be moving, another bullet going segment. I think we're going to see a lot of those tonight. But yeah, we pretty much covered all of that. They've also issued freeze watches for portions of Kentucky. And then we've got wind advisory, fire weather watch, excuse me. We also have another mesoscale discussion. This one is for flash flood. These storms really shouldn't get really ramped up until probably around 7 o'clock before we really see anything really go crazy. Taking a look at the HRR model. Give me 1 second. If we take a look at the HRR model, you can see it's Oh wow, it's actually not doing a bad job. You can see around 7 o'clock we're going to start seeing clustering of thunderstorms, so we should have a banding over here um, near the Ohio Valley in the northeast, and then another area on the western half of the Ohio Valley. As these storms move through, you'll see they kind of just form into a bow echoing line. This will likely not be over out of this area until probably closer to 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. for portions of the eastern time. And I did forget this is Eastern time, so I'm gonna have to just quickly switch this up. Give me 1 second. Let me just fix that. There we go. There's a new time. So it is 6:01 p.m. EDT. This is kind of in the Eastern time zones. That's why I did that. Um, but these will continue to move through to the south, and I think about as they reach the Richmond area to Cincinnati here, they're gonna just start to fall apart, and then our severe weather risk is pretty much done and over with. But that won't be the only thing with it. It'll have a wintry side effect to it as well. Let me take a look. It'll have a little bit of a wintry side effect. We're gonna really have to watch this area over here in portions of Pennsylvania, this green shaded area for flooding, and then over here in portions of Maine, we could see some isolated um, heavier snow up here. I don't think it'll be too much, maybe an inch or two. Just given how heavy the intensity of the snow is forecasted to be. So we could almost have like a yeah. Uh, um yeah, I will be right back. we could see this area of snow here of maybe 3 to 6 inches. This severe thunderstorm warning located in portions of Oak Harbor is about to expire, but still expect 60-mile-per-hour gusts and quarter-sized hail. It is moving to the east-southeast. But look at this. It's a little like look at this. Severe thunderstorm warnings extend through portions of um, um, Illinois, Indiana. So this one, the max is for 50-mile-per-hour gusts and 50-sized hail. And here we go. So we're starting to really get, it's going into a very unstable air mass. As it's getting into the unstable air mass, we're seeing this line of thunderstorms really start to develop. And you'll see that here. It just kind of just started to develop just like that. The only severe thunderstorms are really near knots where we can get 50-mile-per-hour gusts to 50-mile-per-hour gusts and quarter-sized hail in portions of, Illinois. We have a little supercell. This one is a little bit more concerning. We have a little tiny bit of inflow, and this one has the look of it. You can see it, that little hook. These are the storms you're going to have to watch out for. Watsika is about to get, oh, my mouse froze. Where's my mouse? Great. Just great. Oh, there's my mouse. I can't even, there, okay. Alright. You can see a little hail core here. This is mostly driven by cooler air up in higher levels of the atmosphere. We're going to check velocity just to make sure there's nothing rotating. I don't see much here, but yet again, that can change very fast. Moving through parts of Gibson City, through portion of Leroy in Illinois, we're looking at 60-mile-per-hour gusts and quarter-sized hail. This one has a pretty good-looking hail core to it. This is moving to the east-southeast. This is for 60, I don't know why it's not showing it. There we go. 60-mile-per-hour gusts and quarter-sized hail. We've already got 2 reports that just came in for 1-inch sized hail, and it's pretty much from the same exact storm. And then we have a bunch of other thunderstorms. The problem with these is I can see if this slows down just a little bit. This one right here, and this one starts to move to the east-southeast, and this one can maintain its kind of boundary and kind of on its own lead. We'll have to watch this storm for a little bit of potential of rotation. But we'll have to see what happens. There is the potential there. I will say that. New severe thunderstorm warnings have been continued to be issued. That is all the severe thunderstorm warnings besides one in Charlton. This is up in Illinois, Chesterton, excuse me. I expect 50-mile-per-hour gusts and quarter-sized hail. You can kind of see that bow echoing segment here. This will be moving to the northeast. And then we have a special weather statement on the cooler side of things for a little bit of a thunderstorm moving through. This is mostly going to be non-severe as it moves through. But that's the latest update for now. So, as I said, we can take a look at, let me see here. I want you to look at the 18Z. So, I think the main corridor threat, so let's get this in the right time frame. So, this is where we are about now, right? These storms were supposed to be developing around 6 o'clock, which they did, but not in a robust manner. You'll see this line of thunderstorms really get going around probably 7 to 8 p.m. And as we go through 10 p.m., you can see this line really starting to ramp up and really including over in Pennsylvania, as we get a large boa-conning segment, another large boa-conning segment, and then another cluster of thunderstorms, all moving to the south and east. Now, once these thunderstorms get out of this area of the most moist environment, moist, most moist atmosphere, it's going to lose its grip. And then 12 probably, I'll get to that severe thunderstorm warning in just a minute. It's probably going to be the really end of this, and then it's most likely just going to be heavy rain after that, as we lose instability due to the nighttime, obviously. Moving on to the severe thunderstorm warning near portions of Warsaw. Again, this same exact line the thunderstorms moving through. It's got a little bit of a hail core with it too, and a boa-conning segment as well. You can expect 50-mile-per-hour gusts and quarter-sized hail with that storm as well. And we're just issued another severe thunderstorm warning in portions of Hoopston. This is for 60-mile-per-hour gusts and quarter-sized hail. We have a bunch of thunderstorms really, but this is the main focus over here. And then we have a bunch of different storms. These are really moving about this, and they're all moving in about the same area. So any of these towns down here, St. Joseph through Covington and then through Mahomet, watch out for damaging winds and hail. That's going to be the primary concern with these storms as they move to the south and east. But I find it fascinating to just watch these storms as they develop. Let's go. Alright, just watch these storms as they develop. Alright, here we go. That's here we go. So this was around what time? It doesn't 4:53 p.m. You can see there's not much happening, but you can see this little boundary line here, and then you can see these boundary lines as well. You see these little tiny spots, and then as you look at them, this is where they develop. The thunderstorms develop just like that. It's an ignition, and then they just develop out of nowhere just like that. And then you've got another boundary here that is where the thunderstorms develop right in here. And these storms are already moving up to the south and east as predicted. So yeah, we'll have to watch these storms. I do not think these ones are going to be the ones that are going to be tornadic, because this is just too close to each other to be tornadic thunderstorms. The ones that we're going to have to watch out for are the ones that become more individualized. But I find it interesting how they issue a severe thunderstorm warning over here, tornado watch over here, but not one over here. It may be due to the fact that the wind shear is slightly elevated. I can take a look at that. So I'm taking a look at that. Let me see here. I'm trying to figure out why they're just issuing a tornado watch for that area, because just a night ago, some of the weather models were predicting the potential for yeah. So they issued the tornado watch for where they have it, due to the fact that there's enough um, material ingredients for the severe weather risk. But really, it's the wind shear, I think, that's really driving it. If I were to guess anything, let me see here. Yeah, so you're not getting much. The primary reason they have it there is because there's more wind shear over where they have the issue watch, and it's about 50 to 60 knots, as I mentioned before, if you didn't see my YouTube post. And then there's not much going on the other side. It still is concerning enough, but um, the wind shear is not as elevated. The highest wind shear remains to be north of the actual area of concern, um, with 40 to 50 knots still being possible in portions of Illinois where the severe weather risk is expanded to. However, it kind of, most of the wind shear is really where they have it marked right now. So we'll see if they expand the tornado watch any further, but at this point, I think they have it pretty well nailed down. We're just gonna have to watch this area. There's let me do. We're gonna have to watch these storms here as they move to the south and east, because these right here are the thunderstorms and the potential supercells that could develop um, in and be tornadic potentially, given the model data. New severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for portions of all the way over in Cortland, I think I saw. Yes, Cortland, I don't think it's Pennsylvania. Cortland, Ohio. And this one has a tornado possible label, 60 mile gust and quarter-sized hail. And the only real reason it has potential for tornadoes is because it's individual. You don't see any other areas besides around it that are really much. And we're really gonna have to watch this side in here. Really, right in here is where we're gonna have to watch. And right now, well, let me see here. I'm not seeing much rotation. There's not much going on here. So this storm right now is not traumatic, but don't let your guard down. Still gonna have to watch these very closely. Um, and they might even have these might be they're kind of forming. Let me do a little analyzation here. So we have the actual cold front right here, a little boundary, and it's got a warm front that extends like this. The warm sector is right in here. So anything that develops in here could become tornadic, and the wind shear is elevated. But for right now, this looks mostly just like a damaging wind risk. You can see hail in the first, but you have more of a damaging wind line going through. So it's no wonder they issued it for 60-mile-per-hour gusts, because that is clearly a blowback going segment. But beyond that, looking at these cells, they just keep on getting higher and higher. And you'll see what I mean by that. Let me just do this real quick. You can see, based off of 3D radar, that these are the tops of the storms. They're much taller than these are other storms here, much higher. And if you take a look at the echo tops, here are the echo tops. So we have a few, just a few of them that are slightly higher elevated. One near Hoopston and one near Gibson City, and all these other ones are also. That's interesting. How is this one? This one is 54 feet. So we have to watch the ones that are about 40 feet, 40,000 feet in the air. 40,000, I think 40,000 feet in the air, um, to really become we're gonna have to watch the ones that are more like, let me give you an example. Looking at the echo tops here, you would want to look at ones like these that are lower to the ground. Some of these ones. How does this one look near Crown Point? I'm actually interested. There's no. That's interesting. There's an echo top there, and there's nothing there. Um, but really, I think my main focus tonight is going to be here. They've issued special weather statements also for portions of what it expires in 21 minutes. These storms have really already passed by, but these thunderstorms are, there's a little bit of lightning in here, but not much. The the tornado watch also goes over the lake, which I find kind of interesting actually. But look how hot it is, but beyond the cold front. So you've got the warm front like this, and you got temperatures in the 50s on one side of it, and temperatures in the 90s. If anything can develop like in here, I would watch closely because if you take a look at the temperatures here, we're also dealing with dew points in the 61-degree range. Um, but yeah, things haven't really gotten going. Um, but the wind shear is slightly elevated. I think the highest risk of tornadoes tonight is going to be um, there's going to be two areas, but I just want to make sure I get this correct here. Pretty much two areas, but really the most concerning one is over here where they have the tornado watch. But I'd also watch it here as well um, for other supercells. Um, I think the tornado threat is going to be a bust today. Here's the reason why. Um, these again, another day of just already too much convection. Even though you have low cloud, you have little clouds in. Let me show you here. Um, as you look across the United States here, the clouds are clearly less, which means this would be a more prime environment. But the fact that there's already storms developing here, and none of them are really showing any signs of anything, is already a good sign because the more these clouds fill in between, um, the weaker the tornado threat becomes. But um, tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning. There was around Crown Point at one point, I think. Okay, so this is one of those storms that you want to watch out carefully. So you have a block-going segment, but you can see here it kind of um you're gonna have to watch it because these block-going segments can be tricky because you can get a little bit of an indent, kind of like a hook in the middle of this line of thunderstorms. Which did they issue? They didn't put this one as a tornado potential, a tornado label on it, which actually just made because you kind of have this damaging. You have this hook, well not hook echo, but you have this bowing segment. However, I watch as it continues to move out to the north and east. I watch as this little area try to bend and get some rotation from the extreme winds coming in. You got inflow and then inflow from the back as well. I'd watch out. Just saying. But hail's definitely a concern here. I don't know why they have this quarter-sized hail. I would expect that to be upgraded because you can clearly tell this is clearly a heavy hail pour, which hail is one of the main concerns tonight as well. We're getting tons of development along this line here, and I think I think we're going to get an initiation here around Huntington. You can see this little line that just started to develop here. This is um, a little boundary here. I think is going to start to develop thunderstorms, which I don't think was in the forecast. I'm not going to lie. It may have been. Actually, the issue growing model is kind of showing it, but a little bit later. Um, but we'll see what happens here. So this kind of just has this just been sitting here? Yeah, this is gonna develop something. The other problem with this is if this whether this is falling as rain or whatever. My interest is the satellite, obviously. Okay, so you have nothing here. So it, instability is still there. However, you're gonna have to watch these thunderstorms. I really am concerned about this one, just due to the fact that it's one of those individual supercells It's one of those individual supercells, and you're really going to have to watch kind of right in here. Let's see what happens. It looks like a, or you can get some rotation on the back end of this as well. We'll see what happens. It looks like it's trying to curl a little bit. Not exactly 100% sure. I'm not seeing much rotation here, so that's a good sign. And the reason for that is probably due to the fact that it's elevated. If we take a look at the echo tops here, this is not a highly it is a highly elevated storm, and these sometimes have issues producing tornadoes. You have to have more of a thunderstorm that's more along on the surface. But the damaging wind line, without a doubt. There's probably some large hail in here. It's either large hail or it's torrential downpours. It's one of the two. But I'm gonna go with hail. We'll see if they upgrade this though. This is upwards of 68 dBz, just an intense hail core. But if we look at the past history of this storm, I think this may actually just be a damaging wind line with torrential downpours. Sometimes the radar shows that. And then we're probably going to get another severe thunderstorm line moving through portions of, where is this even located? Through portions of Wildwood and areas like that. This looks like a damaging wind line to me. We'll take a look at the velocity real quick. It's not too bad, but 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts, maybe enough for a special weather statement. But we are not done. So, this to be a thunderstorm warning for this little thunderstorm down here in portions of Goodland. Little hail core. This is not one to be concerned right now. I don't see anything going on with it. Other thunderstorms over here that are warned for 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail. I find it extremely interesting how they just have hail cores and then they don't, because they're in a prime environment for it. But tonight may just be a factor of too much convection. We'll see if it happens though, because it may just be another bust like the moderate to severe weather, or what was it last week. But I would really keep an eye on the storm over here. It's already starting to try to do it. You can see it. You can kind of see it happening already. Look at this. You can kind of see it happening right here. We'll see if there's any rotation starting to develop here. Yeah, you can see this kind of broad area rotation right where I marked it. Not a very impressive gust front, but I'm sure the winds are pretty gusty with this storm. We'll see what happens if they come together or not. But just keep an eye on that. That's number one storm to keep an eye on. But number one. Don't be concerned about any of the storms in Michigan. Those are not a concern. Those are not even really a concern at all. Still, this is a thunderstorm warning issued for portions of Cortland. This is one for 60 mile per hour and quarter-sized hail with a tornado possible label. We're just gonna have to see if this can wrap around kind of like this, which I think it's trying to, is what I'm seeing here. Yeah, it's trying to. We'll see if I can do it. That's another thunderstorm to watch for. Number 2 supercell. I'm just wondering. Okay, we're doing good as far as convection goes. There's no convection, which is telling me the environment is still prime for the severe weather. It's just, can it take off? Okay, now we have a new tornado warning just been issued. Let's see which. Alright. Interesting. Alright, yep. So we now have a tornado warning for portions of Fowler Township, portions of Pennsylvania, and the Ohio borderline. Yep, we got some I don't even know why they warned that, if I'm being honest. That's some very broad rotation here, but first tornado warning of the night. There you go. It is in the least expected spot. Um, but yeah, if you're in this tornado warning, remember to seek shelter immediately, whether that's the lowest part of your home or building. We'll continue to watch this one, as I mentioned. We actually have another tornado warning. Do we actually? There's no way. Let me check that real quick. Yeah, okay. We're good. But new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. Really? There should be a thunderstorm warning issued for Angola. Yeah, this looks like a nasty storm already. I mentioned this one before. Thought it was going to get warned for damaging winds. Kind of looked like that. Um, this one is interesting to me. It's got a bow echo and then yet again another bow echo. Kind of interesting. I don't know why. We'll see if we can get any rotation on the back end of it, kind of in here. Is this so? This again is 50-mile-per-hour gusts and quarter-sized hail. So we haven't reached excessive hail yet, but we're probably going to reach it at some point. But watch this line. Looks damaging to me. But another severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for portions of Bloomington for this thunderstorm up here. A little bit of hail with it, mostly damaging winds probably though. 50-mile-per-hour gusts and quarter-sized hail. But first tornado warning of the night is in the Northeast. Who would have expected that? This one is really starting to concern me because it's getting that hook to it. You see it? But kind of what I expected. Um, but what's interesting is this is not where. Um, I want to see if the. Okay, all right, fair enough, fair enough. Here we go. Here's the rotation we were waiting for. I thought it was kind of broad, but there's the rotation right there. The rotation is very strong. I wonder if we even have a tornado on the ground with this one. No tornado on the ground, which is always a good thing, but still keep an eye on it. It's going to be running into a less favorable environment and is going to be going into kind of a slight risk of severe weather. So, to be honest, I'm surprised this was even warm. But as I mentioned, that was another one to watch out for. Um, Give me 1 second, but here we go. Another one, 60 mile, another thunderstorm moving through. Oh, that's a nasty thunderstorm. Um, north, west of North Manchester. This is going to be moving to the east. Um, just this is going to be an impressive thunderstorm. I think we're going to see a lot of reports of it this one. For 60 mile per hour gusts in quarter-sized steel, wouldn't be shocked to see higher. The gust front is probably pretty strong in this storm, and this in the intensity of this. And let's take a look at the gust front. Actually, not an impressive gust front, but the velocity doesn't always show the correct. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that makes more sense. Storm relative velocity around 50 to 55 miles per hour wind gusts. So, definitely a damaging thunderstorm. New severe thunderstorm warning just been issued for portions of, let me see here. Alright, I'll give you a break for just 1 second. Keep an eye on this one though. Okay, yeah, that's never a good look. Okay, this is what I was talking about. You have a full hook echo happening here. We'll see if we're getting anything. Okay, so the rotation has become stronger, as you can see right here. Never a good sign. And we, it's hard to say, honestly. You really have to, let me see here. I can't, I think this specific one right here could be debris, but I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to wait for confirmation. I am not confident enough to say that's on the ground yet. But that's a thunderstorm to keep an eye on. Alright. Anyways. But if you're in this warning, please seek shelter immediately. This is probably going to become a pretty dangerous storm here pretty quickly. The rotation is quickly strengthening, and wouldn't be surprised if anything, if a tornado is produced out of this storm. So seek shelter immediately where the airflow is part of your home or building. Can't tell which. Hold on. That's not a good look. That's never a good look. It's really, so this is never a good sign. Let me see if there's anything. Okay, yeah, you can see the rotation there. It's kind of, it's tightened up, but it's also a lot more, very small rotation area. And I can't tell if this is on the ground. I don't think it's on the ground, but we'll know soon enough. But it's really starting to tighten, which is never a good thing. Okay. Alright, new warning just came through. We'll see what this one is all about. Just want to make sure it's not that one. Okay. New severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Akron, for 60 microphone gusts and small hail, about just shy of an inch. Yep, you can kind of see that boa green segment I've been talking about coming right for the southeast. Ooh, that doesn't look good. So we have a little streak here of upwards of 50 mile per hour gusts to 55 mile per hour gusts in the middle of this thunderstorm, which is never a good sign. Alright, new warning just came through again. This tornado warning has now been expanded farther into Pennsylvania now, in portions of Mercer. And that's really not good. This thunderstorm has fully created a hook echo. Full hook echo. Not good. The rotation has gotten significantly stronger near Orangeville. And then as we take a look at the correlation coefficient here, again, I can't tell if there's anything on the ground. I can't tell. I don't think there is, but because we'll have to see. But this is the kind of tornado the tornado warning storm that would drop a tornado. So moving off to the south and east, keep an eye on that one. Not a good thing. Severe thunderstorms are still roaring through portions of in Ohio, Illinois, and Indiana. This one looks like a pretty good line of thunderstorms moving through. Again, this one near North Manchester is warned for 60 mile per hour gusts and quarter-sized hail. There's already been a report of damage in this area. New severe thunderstorm warning just came through. Just trying to figure out where it is. I'm not seeing where it is. This one is new, I'm pretty sure. Yes. Alright. This severe thunderstorm warning in portions of Florida. This is in Illinois, or Indiana, excuse me. You can see the boa going there. There's a little bit of hail, so 60 50-mile-per-hour gust and quarter-sized hail with that storm. Another severe thunderstorm warning near Williamsport for again 60 mile per hour gust and quarter-sized hail, and then yet again another storm behind that one for 60 mile-per-hour gust and quarter-sized hail. I gotta say, I'm gonna give props to the RRFSA model for the thunderstorms, because this looks pretty much identical. More thunderstorms moving through Bloomington. This same area that just had hail come through. This thunderstorm has been warned for 50-mile-per-hour gust and quarter-sized hail once again. This is an impressive hail coordinated Hayworth. But really, two storms are probably warned. Well, they just formed together. There we go. That didn't take long. We'll see if this gets warned for a bow echoing segment. There's that. Moving on to this tornado warning, because this one is really concerning. This one also is warned for quarter-sized hail as well. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, full bow echoing segment, full everything. The rotation has become significantly broader, which is a good thing, and that's because it's running into more of the marginal risk, the more slight risk of severe weather. We'll see if it can hold together, but I highly doubt it will. But, yep, there's that. Continue to move through. These are all severe thunderstorm warned. And this is going to become a problem, but I think as long as this convection behind it, all this here, can stay behind it, I think these thunderstorms will thrive. However, these thunderstorms over here, the main line is kind of like right here. So, clustering of showers and heavy downpours, then we have a little thunderstorm band here, and then there you go. So we're approaching the 7 o'clock hour, which is where things could get interesting. We're about 13 minutes shy. Things could get rather interesting here pretty quickly. Special weather statements have been issued for portions of Canada, Michigan for these thunderstorms moving through. For wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour and nickel-sized hail, so that's enough to damage vehicles, property, crops, and potentially blow around tree limbs and stuff like that. Keep an eye on the storm over here. Okay, it's starting. It's lost that kind of bold, debris signature on the actual radar. However, we're gonna have to watch it still because things can happen. Alright, new warning just came through. I think it's just going off for no reason at this point. My warning system. What are the dew points here anyways? That might be the problem. The dew points are 50 to 60 degrees, which is still within that thing, but really what's carrying the storm is the wind shear, which alright, another warning just came through, but I swear to God my warning system is not working properly at all. It's not. For all I know, it could be over in Hawaii. But we're up to 8 severe thunderstorm warnings. Okay. Okay, so now there's, according to some max velocity meteorologists, there's a tornado on the ground. I'm assuming it's this one, but I'm not sure. Uh-huh. Watch this. I'd watch this rain here. Let's see here. This guy, this has that look. Okay, nothing there. Continuing through here. Um, what is this? Okay, here are more storms to watch. Watch this one. Not this. Well, if this can get enough inflow, sure. But I'd really watch this one. It doesn't have much rotation with it, so that's always a good thing. I think these storms really struggling to produce a tornado because of the cap in place. I don't know why you said there's I don't know why there's reports of a tornado on the ground. Um, I would assume it's near Sharpsville. Okay, yeah, rotation is still broad. But there's nothing on the correlation coefficient. So if we track back in time here, um, if we go back in time, wait for this to load, hold on. If we go back in time, you kind of watch it here. This could be it right here. As it's moving to the south and east, it kind of stays together here. That could have been the tornado, but I wasn't 100% sure. So it could very well be on the ground. But they're gonna have to analyze that because, I mean, it kind of did. I'm gonna say that was on the ground. But what's interesting is, mm, I can't confirm for sure. I couldn't really. I don't think it may have been on the ground, but it was hard to tell. Um, okay, okay. All right. Well, so yeah. Well, sorry about that. Um, oh boy, here we go again. Let's see here. Let's see if the rotation is tightening again. Um, not much here. I don't know why this is still warm. All right, another warning is not. Yep, used to be a thunderstorm warning in portions of uh, Wasan for geez, 60-mile per hour gusts, half-dollar size hail, which is 1 inch and a quarter size in diameter, and this also has a tornado possible label on it, and I can already see why. All right, holy, that's one hail core. That is a significant hail core. I know warnings are going off like crazy. Just watch this area here, and that is a big hail core. We'll see what happens here. That is a large hail core. I'm surprised that's not warned for larger hail. That is a significant hail core. Moving through a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings back through here. Nothing concerning. The only concerning storm really is here in Mercer, and obviously that thunderstorm with hail. Oh, all right. Back to which storm was I watching? I forgot. Wow. I watched this line as well as it moves through. Probably some very gusty winds in here. Another severe thunderstorm. Something's. I don't see anything. Okay. Back to this thunderstorm. That is a large hail core. So yeah, if you're in that warning, if you're in the severe thunderstorm warning, you're Montpelier, in just near the border of Michigan, seek shelter immediately because this one has a lot of hail. I haven't seen a hailstorm like that in quite some time. But as you heard, large hail is a possibility tonight, and that's just our first. I can't believe they didn't upgrade that though. That's what shocked me. All right, this storm still looks intense. But where if this rotation here can pull together, then things could happen. But again, nothing really here. So I think it produced a quick tornado just off of looking back at the actual track of the debris signature. But other than that, I don't think much was happening with that storm. Okay, another report just came in of 60-mile-per-hour gusts here and a 50-mile-per-hour gust here. These reports are probably going to go up rapidly. I would not be surprised. Full-blown line of thunderstorms moving through. But now is when things can get interesting. Right here between right where we are here and right in here is where things can get interesting. This is going to take a couple of hours, probably several hours, but this is where to watch. And it is hot on the other end of this. 90s, 90 plus. Back here, new severe thunderstorm warning issued for Huntington. I think this is, yeah, Indiana. For 60 mile per gusts and quarter size hail with a tornado possible label. Just gonna have to watch these little areas in. Oh, that was not a good drawing. Sorry about that. In here, or just kind of watch this entire line here. I think they're, yeah, okay, there goes the tornado warning. I was gonna say. My goodness, jeez. I don't know how this isn't upgraded. That is more than $50 size hail. But if you're in, I want to see if we can get cameras in Bryan, because that is a massive hailstorm. Let me see if we can get one. I want to see the size of this hail. Well, that sucks. No cameras near Brian, but we're probably gonna get some pretty impressive hail images on social media out of this storm for sure. Moving through here, little tiny severe thunderstorm warning in Kent. This didn't even realize this was really here. That one's really just falling apart. Honestly, not much of anything with that one. That's probably not gonna last for long. Oh, we now have a tornado warning, and this is probably gonna. Okay, I thought it was gonna be confirmed actually. I think this has been here for a while, and I didn't even notice. So that's interesting. Well, look at the tornado there. Okay, there's our second tornado warning of the day. Oh yeah. Seek shelter immediately if you're in the storm near Wingate, Ohio, or Indiana, excuse me, wherever this is. Seek shelter immediately where there's the lowest part of your home or building. This is easily an EF1 tornado. We'll see if anything's on the ground with this storm. And it does look like there's something on the ground with this storm. So yeah, seek shelter immediately. I wouldn't be surprised if this got PDS warned. We'll see if it does. But again, classic Supercell, honestly. Doesn't shock me at all. Very strong velocity, very strong couplet there. Near is it Wingate? Yeah. But there's something here. If you go back just a few seconds, there's something here. Yeah, you can see it. That's clear as day. Little debris signature. Nothing crazy, but okay. But yeah, seek shelter immediately if you're in that storm. Whether that's the lowest part of your home or building. That one does look like it has a tornado on the ground. It may have just the tornado may have just gotten back up in the clouds, but there is a tornado there. I do believe we'll see if this gets warned. We'll see if it gets PDS warned because it looks like yeah. Um, how do you pronounce that? It is straight up Wingate. Okay, still going. Another severe thunderstorm warning issued for portions of uh, Kokomo for 60-mile per gust and quarter size, $half size hail. Just got off the reading. Why do they issue a $half size hail for a storm that barely looks like it has any hail? I don't get it. Anyways, this is moving to the south and east. Looks like at least a decent hail core. Again, another severe thunderstorm warning near Huntington for 60-mile per gust and quarter sized hail. There's also a tornado possible label on this storm. and the storm does look like it's had a history of damage and hail as well. Watch this one out for Tornado 2, obviously. It's got the look, but we'll see if it can wrap around. We'll see if anything really starts getting going. I'm trying to... There could be a bit of rotation, but not a whole ton. I mean, this could potentially be something. Again, this is going towards the radar, and this is going away from the radar. So there could be something here, but it's broad rotation if there is. And, I mean, it's kind of coincidental that there's just a random debris signature there, but I'm not buying it. Anyways, moving on. This warning has been extended for portions of Ravenna for a 60-mile-per-hour gust and quarter-sized tail with yet again another tornado possible label. You can kind of tell the trend here today with these supercells. If they have any look like this, then you got to keep an eye on them. This could be rotation right here, but it's behind the storm, so I don't think it is. Okay, new severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Thorntown, sorry, excuse me. Why did they take the tornado cost? What? Let's see the rotation here. Yeah, that was a stupid idea. Anyways, there's still rotation here, so seek shelter immediately, whether it's the lowest part of your home or building in this storm as well in Thorntown. Just coming up. It still looks like a problematic thunderstorm. So there could be something there, still, potentially. We'll continue to watch this one as it goes through, though. But yeah, it's got that classic hook echo that you've seen before. Anyways, there you go with that one. Alright. Another severe thunderstorm warning. This one has been extended into Bluffton. I think I already mentioned this one, but it looks more like a damaging wind threat to me. Oh my god. Jeez. Are they gonna upgrade this or not? This thunderstorm is just incredible. I mean, look at that hail core. Jeez. Seek shelter immediately if you're in the storm. This looks like some dangerous hail. Probably over 2-inch size hail. We just had a marker for 1-inch size hail, and it's going to be right over here. This is probably going to get close to 2 inches, if not higher. That's impressive. Wow. Okay. Now we have a concern to watch for, because you see it right here? Little bit of spin, but... yeah, we'll see if this got any rotation. I can't. The radar doesn't go that far. That's unfortunate, but that looks incredibly, yeah. This is Ohio now. There's no way that's a win. There's just no way. New tornado warning. Oh, sorry. Never mind. Same one. This one's about to expire in 4 minutes, but I'd still watch it. Because it's still got a hook echo on it, so I'd watch it. Yeah, okay. Yep. 6 shots immediately if you're in the storm again. It looks like the rotation is starting to tighten up again. Doesn't surprise me, really. The wind shear's elevated here, so nothing on the ground with this storm, but there's that. Alright, let's take a look at the overall picture here. Yeah, look at all of this. I'm gonna get it better. Alright. Yeah, this is... Alright. New severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Summerfield Township and portions of Michigan. Once again, this is for 60-mile per gust and quarter-size hail. Again, I don't know why they're saying quarter-size hail, because anyone that's a meteorologist that looks at this, I don't know how you can say that's quarter-size hail. It's at least half-dollar size hail, if not more. But this is kind of what we were expecting. Let me get a picture here of let me get a picture of the actual radar without the overlay and everything. It's going to be kind of smoothened out a little bit, so just keep that in mind. But let me just show you the whole kind of line of thunderstorms that I'm talking about here. Alright. We could have, I want to take a look at a storm in near the Toledo area and portions of Ohio, but near Defiance, looks like we could have some rotation starting to spin up here near Defiance. We'll see if that continues. I'm not exactly sure, but we'll see. The one I forgot to cover, was going to cover it, forgot about it. Special weather statement in effect for Tiffin. This is in Ohio. If the radar will work. Okay, well, I'd say that storm is long gone now. Oh, wrong button. New severe thunderstorm warning issued for the Toledo area for 60-mile per gust and quarter-sized hail. For I think just this section of thunderstorm moving through to the east. Special weather statement has just been issued for portions of Pennsylvania. For it looks gusty winds, probably maybe a little hail. 50-mile per wind gusts with this storm. So yeah, stay inside. This one will definitely not knock down possibly a few tree limbs, tree branches, and maybe even a tree or two. All right, we're getting the damage reports are really starting to come in now, and now we're getting larger hail. Yeah, that was to be expected. 1.7-inch size hail. That is higher than they predicted. All right. Oh, this could be a little cheat sheet. Let's see here. 24-mile per hour winds there. See head to the gust front. 16 miles per hour. It's probably more than that. Alright, but you can see the feature reader did a pretty good job. Line of thunderstorms here, and then yet another line of thunderstorms here. We have managed to avoid any. Um, we've managed to avoid a not really a tornado outbreak, but really any tornadoes in general. If you look at this video weather outlook that I have up on the bottom right of your screen, you can see that this is kind of playing out the way we kind of thought it would. Um, the wind shear has really been, I think, helpful with the organization of the supercells. I just not in the way of tornadoes, which is always a good thing. Yeah, that's not a good look either. Um, Watch this one near um, Montpelier. We'll see if this gets tornado one. Let's see if there's actually any rotation with this storm. Little bit of broad rotation near Van Buren. Oh, that's a familiar name. This one was warned for a tornado emergency last year. Doesn't look like anything's there, but still keep an eye on that storm because any storm. Okay, so it's starting to rotate a little bit. Yeah, now it's starting to rotate. We'll see about the right here. Sea shots immediately from the storm near Van Buren. Looks like we have this one starting to become not quite tornadic yet, but it does have rotation with it. Um, Sea shots immediately with the lowest part of the Homer building. Then just a bunch of line of severe thunderstorms here as well. $half size scale with that storm. Don't agree with it. And then, oh damn. Okay. Um, this is our first destructive thunderstorm of the evening for an enhanced risk of severe weather. This thunderstorm is capable of producing 80 miles per hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail, as well as the potential for a tornado. Looking at this, it doesn't look that impressive, but we'll have to wait for the next radar scan to really tell if this is what they're saying it is. Okay, alright, this has now been tornado warned. New tornado warning in effect for Tipton. If you're in this warning, seek shelter immediately, whether it rules part of your home or building. And looks like the rotation is near Tipton, right in here. And looks like this could potentially be something, but I can't quite confirm because let me see here. I mean, it could be, but again, it's so hard to tell. But new tornado warning, anyways. There's our third of the day. Thankfully, no confirmed tornadoes, although I do think the one near Pennsylvania will come in as confirmed. That's the one unfortunate part of this. So, anyways. Alright, back to it. Alright. Oh, I see. It's this little tiny thunderstorm in here. I see. Oh yeah, look at that. 60 mile per hour. Pretty impressive. That's a that's a strong thunderstorm right there, around 70 miles per hour. I think this is in Ohio too. Or is it in Indiana? It's in Indiana, okay. The tornado threat is significantly lower than it was showing the other day. Alright, well, thunderstorms. More severe thunderstorm warnings. This one looks pretty aggressive, or this one looks like it's bow echoing. That's not a very good sign. Moving out to the east, StratusFW in the storm is probably carrying, let's see, 60 mile per hour guess, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's higher. Yeah. Looks like we have a little something going on here. I'm not sure what this is all about. I don't think it's a tornado, but there's always a possibility. Yeah, it's on the backside. I don't think that's a tornado, but it could be. It could be. But gusty winds are within the storm for sure, upwards of 60 mile per hour gusts potentially. Oh wow, look at that bow echo. That's not a good sign. I'd watch right in here for any rotation because sometimes you have winds coming in from both directions that can easily just start rotating this instant within a few minutes. So that's an impressive bow echo. And this has been extended now for 60 mile per hour gusts and quarter sized hail. So there you go. Another severe thunderstorm down near Millsburg for 60 mile per hour wind gusts and once again quarter sized hail. There is a tornado possibility on this storm, which does make it a little bit concerning, but I'm not concerned because it's not in a very, it's in that primary environment for tornadoes, but not anything significant. Okay. Um, I'm just looking back here. Just some spotty showers and this moderate risk, this marginal risk. They really should have just done it like this. But there was the potential for other thunderstorms as well, so can't give them too much heck for it. This doesn't look like a whole bunch of severe thunderstorms, maybe some localized thunderstorms near portions of Davenport. And then continuing on, there could actually be a few severe thunderstorms over here that are unwarned. This one could easily be carrying up to a small hail potentially. Um, new severe oh well that's not good. New tornado warning for portions of Coldwater. This is the fourth tornado warning of the day, and yeah, that's got a hook rotation is tight but broad. The rotation is getting, if there's anything there, it's going to be near St. Joseph. Remains the same there. There's It's hard to tell if there's actually a tornado here, given even given that there's some sign of debris. I'm not fully buying into it unless it's moving to the south and east. Then I might buy into it. We'll see if the storm's moving to the south and east. It is. Yeah. Okay. There could be a tornado on this one, so I'm gonna call and say yeah. So yeah, seek shelter immediately within its lowest part of your home or building, because this thunderstorm does look like it has a potential tornado on the ground at this point, at this time. So yeah, it doesn't look like anything overly significant, but again, radar does not tell the whole story. But I think this is where the tornado is. I'm not 100% sure. A lot of the thunderstorms today have been no, none of them have been PDS warned, which is obviously a good sign, but this one could get PDS warned, I'm not sure. This is near St. Joseph, so if you're near St. Joseph, make sure to seek shelter. This could be our first confirmed tornado of the day. We'll just have to see what the weather, the National Weather Service says about it. We'll see if it gets. This has also been now warned for golf ball size hail, which I did not realize. Yeah, a lot of hail core on it too. And if you're driving through cold water or anywhere around this area, it looks like we have a pretty big hail core moving through. That's never a good sign. Oh, we have another tornado warning I didn't even realize near Millsburg. This expires in 19 minutes. Um, I hate when these storms take a track like this, because I think that's what it's going to do. Because for some reason, storms that move to the north and east, just there's something about it that makes them rotate more. I don't know what it is, whether it's elevation combined with wind shear. It doesn't look like anything's on the ground with this one, so they're probably going to allow this one to expire, which that's another good thing. But as far as tornado warnings go, we haven't had a whole ton. Well, as I say that, yeah, that's a clear tornado. All right, another tornado warning has been issued for Upper Sandusky. Um, this remains in effect for another 33 minutes, and you can clear as day see this hook echo here. Very clear hook echo, probably the clearest one all day. Um, Looks like the rotation is more in here, but that's a very strong rotation, which there's no tornado on the ground at this point, but yet again, that's another tornado warning, so we're on the road. We are on a streak of tornado warnings. Just a small little, okay, they've updated the severe thunderstorm watch. What have they done with it? Have they extended it for another 3 hours? Okay. Alright. A lot of these severe thunderstorm warnings are starting to die off, which is a good sign. Yeah, a lot of this is just a lot of just convection, but more reports are starting to come in here of damage because of these thunderstorms. Um, but we've got three tornado warnings here. And a lot of, alright. I'm guessing they're going to extend this kind of like this. New severe thunder, uh, kind of a severe thunderstorm moving through here. packing a punch potentially up to 70 mile per hour wind gusts with quarter-sized hail, so that's incredible. Looking at the storm relative that, no, that's not going to do it. The radar site is cut off for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but looks like there's a decent hail core on the southern half of the storm, right near Winchester. But everything is going to plan so far. Alright, another severe thunderstorm warning issued for Warren, Pennsylvania, or just outside of Pennsylvania. Um, this one is warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail, so seek shelter immediately if you're in this storm. And this storm is taking the same track as that tornado warned cell did. New tornado warning here, just issued. Never mind. But it does look like it has that hook echo to it. I think it's starting to develop it again, potentially. Let's see here. Let's see if it wraps around. I still don't think there's anything on the ground with that storm. Let's take a look at this thunderstorm over here. Yeah, there's still rotation here. There's still rotation. It's just not very, sorry, it is strong, but taking a look at the correlation coefficient here, nothing seems to be indicating that this is on the ground, which let's hope that stays that way. Alright, let's see what's happening here. Yeah, see, anything, any of these storms, um, this is probably the factor that's the cold front has now moved to the south here, as expected. This will continue to kind of move kind of east south east southeast. um, this is going to be the primary factor. There is another area of precipitation back here, another line going to develop, and this is going to be probably the primary factor that allows this line to be weak. The line is probably already developing back here. It's trying to, anyways. We should see a secondary line move through. It will not be severe by any means. And we have our first 60-mile-per-hour wind gust report. Actually, we have two of them. Kind of looks like it's dying off. Broad rotation. Looks like we have two areas of rotation. New severe thunderstorm warning issued for portions of Winchester. This is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. And yeah, you can see why. I mean, here's the line of the black-wing segment. Well, kind of just more line of thunderstorms and a little bit of a hail core on it too. Yeah, interesting. It might be trying to do something here. There's not much inflow because there's a lot of rain going around, but there's a little bit. And then if we can give this a spin here, we could get a tornado on this end here. We'll see if that happens though. We'll see if it can spin. Looks like we are actually having a little bit of rotation already. There's a little bit of rotation developing. A little bit of rotation developing near Huntsville. And it does not look like anything's on the ground, but I find this interesting because there's nothing even there. Don't know what that's about. But this could easily start rotating, and it looks like it's trying to, but we'll see how well that plays out. That's the update for now. Let me see if there's any more updates. Alright, let's see if, alright, 23Z just came out. Let's see what okay, so yeah, pretty much on point. So where the areas that are most prone, um, the the most ingredients are for the tornadoes are where you're seeing right now are in Ohio, and this should fade off pretty soon here. Within the next couple of hours, it should be faded, pretty much gone. We could still see a few supercells potentially along a line that will develop, I think they added the marginal risk of severe weather for the line that's going to form, but these prefrontal thunderstorms is really what we're gonna have to watch. Um, if I'm gonna be honest, um, I think we're gonna turn to much more of a damaging wind risk with this isn't a classic sign of a QCLS tornado threat. However, things can change. All right, yet again another severe thunderstorm warning. How many severe thunderstorm warnings is this by now? Um, Severe thunderstorm warning issued for 60-mile per hour gusts and quarter-sized hail. This is near. What is this even covering? I think it's covering this incoming thunderstorm here, or this one. I'm not sure which one, but either way, probably moving to the southeast, and this one is warned for 60-mile per hour. If you're not getting a ton of hail or damaging winds, you are getting a ton of lightning. These thunderstorms are highly electrified. I haven't even checked out the storm velocity yet. Let me take a look. Let's see. Oh yeah, the atmosphere is loaded tonight with electricity. Loaded. A lot of storm energy. Okay. I'm interested to see what they do with this warning. I think they may issue a special marine warning here for a damaging thunderstorm coming in off the lake. I think this is Lake Erie. There could be a pretty nasty line of thunderstorms moving through here. This looks like a bow echoing segment. Oh yeah, 100%. This is going to get warned soon, I would assume. Pretty classic bow echoing happening there. Pretty classic. Um, we'll keep an eye on these thunderstorms as they roll through, but we are pretty much done with the severe weather threat for at least this section. We're almost done with it anyways. These should start to die off soon. I'm taking a look at the reflectivity here. Future radar. Yeah, they should start to die off by morning hours, the early morning hours. But the model that was the most aggressive with it all was the RRFA FSA model, which is still aggressive with it. Don't get me wrong, maybe a bit too aggressive, but it does have a weakening as it moves through. So I'm gonna say the the RRFSA model wins this one. But oh, continue to moving through. Well, okay. Um, continue. Let's take a look at this one. This one looks more of a damaging wind threat to me now. Don't think there's much of a rotation with this anymore. Yeah, not much rotation at all, to be honest with you. Think this one's going to be dropped. Yeah, not much of anything there. Just some heavy downpours, gusty winds, damaging winds, excuse me. But probably up to 60 mile per hour gusts. And down here, this tornado warning is about to expire, but it could be extended. Just I don't like the look of this thunderstorm in general. I don't. Oh, I forgot to press the right one. There's a bit of rotation here near that could tighten up near uh, Walnut Creek, but we'll have to see what happens. It could do something. I'm not sure, but there's a heck of a hailstorm in the northern half of it. New severe thunderstorm warning for Marion. Or, well, this is a new, but it looks new. They might have. Oh wow, look at that little cell here. This one has potential to become tornadic. One problem is, well, too much convection out ahead of it and too much convection on there. The only really thing it could potentially have is a little bit of inflow here. I'm not, and there's not a whole ton of. I don't think this is gonna be able to really do anything tornadic. So all good there. convection is going to rip this entire thing apart. I'm telling you. Yeah, if we take a look at some of these um, outer areas, you can see, yeah, I mean, just look, way too much convection. If these radar sites will work. It's not wanting to work for me, which is fantastic. um, Looks mostly like damaging winds to me. Again, windy storms. Looks like mostly damaging winds, and that's been the entire story with large hail as well. Yep, that one doesn't look like it's doing much of anything anymore. It's out of that really prime zone. There's a few pockets. I have to say, I think I might be using our FSA model more often than the H Raw model. I do, just due to the fact that it's doing a much better job with these thunderstorms in general. There's definitely a lot of. Let me give me 1 second. Pull up something. Let me see here. Oh, wrong thing. Let's see if it has it. No, sir. Okay then, fair enough. Mm, mm. Alright, this has been, they extended the severe thunderstorm warning for this storm for 50-mile-per-hour gusts and quarter-sized hail. Seek shelter if you're in this storm. Primarily just because of the hail. Well, the gusty winds could also drive the hail pretty fast down to the ground as well. Special weather statement has just been issued for portions of Goshen. This is nearly in Michigan here for little line of thunderstorms for 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half-inch sized hail. So nothing really overly significant, but it's enough to at least cause some slick roadways, probably. This entire side here looks like there's a whole mess of convection, and the same goes here. Like, I can't see much more happening here. And I've seen this time and time again, too. Too much convection is just going to rip this thing apart. I'm going to take a look at a different radar site, because this might just be overdoing it. Let's see here. I think it's overdoing it, potentially. I'm not. Yeah, well, yeah, it's running into unstable. The thunderstorms that are happening right now are probably going to end up getting ripped apart. The ones that are warned near. Let me just show you. The radar site is correct. Let me just give you a little sense of. Okay. All right. Let me just show you. I think this line of thunderstorms is going to run into some stable air mass, which is just going to rip the storms apart, so we won't even have to deal with them anymore. Alright, so here's the image. This is off a different radar site. You can see here, I circled it in blue where you can see the areas of thunderstorms that are severe warned or tornadic warned, and then you can see this little area near Springfield, Ohio, that has just for these storms to go any further. I don't think the ones above where the Ohio actual town of the name Ohio is stated on the map is going to be affected by this. But if it does take more of a southerly track, um, this rain is the rain ahead of this is going to significantly reduce its ability to really be severe and stuff like that. So that's the latest analyzation, really. It would have to take. We can see if it will clear up, but I think there's just the dew points are too high, so I don't think it's going to be a thing that happens. So I think this ultimate line here is about to be this ultimate doom right in here. Because right over here, you got, did I circle that right? I hope I did. We got a lot of rain happening, which means it's going to basically just, probably just, these are going to run out of steam. And the, and the, um, and the latest, we'll see if the NAM model's picking up on it more. None of the models are picking up on this, but this is definitely happening. The models were definitely aggressive with this setup to begin with, so just I'm looking at the 23Z now. Yeah, it's not the H4R model is not picking up on the extra rainfall ahead of this, so it's going to end up ripping it apart, and that'll be the end of that. But there's still tons of storm energy. That is one thing, but I don't think it's going to really do much. You'll see what I mean. Once it gets into this area, we'll see what happens, but I don't know why they're even in here. This is probably going to rip the storms apart. That's Tornado PG. I think it's going to rip the storms apart. And you'll notice with the models, they're not picking up on this extra convection, but we have a ton of hail reports coming in and a ton of damage reports coming in as well, and as well as wind gust reports. And yeah, this over here, this huge blob is non-existent. This is actually just thunderstorms. It's, let me show you. The severe, oh, hold on. They just kind of split this 20 to 1.5, just for the heck of it. It's starting to develop a hook again. Look at this. Ooh, that's some tight rotation. I'm not sure if that's actually, I can't tell, but if that is that's strong broad rotation. Yeah, nothing there. Okay. We'll see if this gets PDS observed. We have yet to have one observed tornado today. I think well, let me take a look at the tornado reports real quick, just to confirm that before I say anything else. Look in here. We have had 0 tornado reports today. 0. So I don't know why Max Velocity had a tornado on the ground on his feed, but not mine. Okay. Let's see if they've updated this. Not yet. Okay. This tornado thread has been an absolute bust again, and it doesn't surprise me. When you have too much convection, like you're having right now, it doesn't surprise me at all. If we had had less convection, there would have been more of a problem, but I think the cloud either the cloud cover or the actual the actual uh, uh, I don't think it's the wind shear that causes this to be an issue. I think it's more of the amount of convection that just spawns around everything. We've been here before. It happened. Last week with the moderate risk of severe weather, the first moderate risk of 2026, which will likely have another one. There's no doubt about it. I mean, no promises, of course, but we'll see. We'll see if anything can happen here. Let me get rid of the severe weather risk overlay. There you go. So it's a little bit easier to see. This one is now starting to get interesting. And the reason this one is able to thrive, well, that's because most of the convection here is over here. So let's find a little pocket here. Nice little hook echo to it too. And it looks like the rotation is starting to strengthen again near Caledonia. Nothing much there, but this is likely to be tornado warned again. They've also had another mesoscale discussion here for severe thunderstorm watch, which is interesting because there's not actually much happening here. I think this is what they're this is the thing they're talking about here. The line of thunderstorms that's going to develop later tonight into the early morning hours tomorrow. I don't even think it's going to be worth putting a severe thunderstorm watch up here because look at all the convection over here, and the cloud cover as well. Take a look at the satellite here. Well, it's not appearing for some reason. That's okay. Yeah, see? This is... I can get the mesoscale discussion up, but don't know why they did that. I'll able to get the latest one up, but I'd say this is going to be another bust because there's too much convection and too much cloud cover. It's not really going to have any time. It's not going to be able to really recover, but we'll put it up anyways. It is for 55 to 70 mile per hour damaging winds and hail in excess of 1.25 inches in diameter. That is it. Well, sensor is 220. Two severe weather mesoscale discussions. I will just put this one in for the second. So there's the second mesoscale discussion. The risk for large hail and damaging wind gusts continues across the area, and then you see there 55 to 70 mile per hour damaging wind gusts and quarter in excess of 1.25 inches in diameter. So there's that. But if I'm being honest, this whole thing is filled with a cloud cover. So I don't know if this is ever going to be able to really recover. There is a ton of energy with this system, but I thought they issued a storm warning. Back to it. Well, it's trying to anyways. You can see there's pockets of whites in here. That is the hail. There's no way this is going to be able to recover. There's not a shot. Oh, new tornado warning just issued for portions of Mount Gilead. This is that tornado this is that the thunderstorm with an insane hook echo I was talking about. Yep, rotation is very strong near Caledonia, and there's nothing on the ground there, but still keep an eye on the storm. This one looks has a clear pathway to go on for quite a bit. So that will be the only reason we will remain live, because other than that, this severe weather risk is pretty much dying out. We'll see what happens, I guess. So yeah, we're starting to get thunderstorms developing here. It's just, can we get this get out of here? That's the question that needs to be answered, and I'm gonna say no. But you can see the line back here starting to really develop. You can kind of start to see it here. It's trying to. This will be the extra line that comes through way early tomorrow morning. But then the rotation's becoming broad again, once again. Ow. Looks like we might have something happen over here in Dover. Is this tornado possible label? That's interesting. Okay, there's not really much rotation, but actually there is. Right near Dover, you can see here, right in here. We'll see if it gets tornado warned. I don't know if it will. It's hard to tell if it's a tornado warning, really, but tornado warnable, but we'll see, I guess. Yeah, see, see, everything's dying out here. And this is the only one that looks actually impressive, near Winona Lake for 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts and a half-inch sized hail. Somehow these are starting to pop off. Don't get that. Because there's not a whole ton of energy down here. We're about to go silent as far as severe thunderstorm warnings go. This is, see. That doesn't look as impressive as it did, so that's always a good sign. But large hailstorm moving through. And the reason why these are only special weather statements is because the energy is just being drained out. You do have, yeah, see, these dew points are getting colder too. Sorry, campers. That doesn't look good. I can't really tell if that's a tornado or not. I don't think that is. If I'm being honest, it looks more just like a bow echoing segment, but it has been tornado warned regardless, with golf ball size hail. So try not to get hit in the head with a hailstone, I guess. Thorntown, little style moving through. This one has really died out a lot, which is to be expected. I think I'm only going to be live for another probably 30 minutes because this severe weather outbreak seems to be dying off pretty quick. Although there is some extra thunderstorms starting to develop behind it. I don't think those will last long. Special weather statement over here too. This one is for this line of thunderstorms moving through. Huh. It's got like a bumpy pattern to it. Weird. But just watch these pockets here. Like, watch these pockets in here and here. Severe thunderstorm warning here over in Philadelphia for 60-mile/per hour gusts and quarter-size hail. Please stop. I'd still watch this sell for an isolated tornado. Well, we'll see how quickly these thunderstorms are recovering, I guess. Wow, they're actually doing quite well. I'm quite surprised. The convection seems to be erasing, and I think our line is starting to develop now. It's a bit early in the evening, but I think it's starting to develop a little bit. But just, it's crazy because up here, where this cold front is, 55 degrees versus 80 degrees, a 30-degree temperature change. I think this might be a new tornado one, I'm not sure. Broken up radar, but I think it's right here. Looks like this is way ahead of the storm, so that confuses me. Well, not by a whole lot. We may have some development here, some rotation, but it's hard to say. For sure. I can't, I don't think so, but I could be wrong. I'm genuinely interested to see if these thunderstorms can redevelop. They're not doing so hot, but this line is doing pretty well, actually. There's this random one damage report out here. These thunderstorms are struggling for sure. I can tell. but our line is starting to develop now. You can see it here. This is the line that's going to be coming through later tonight. If it can maintain its instability, that is. Still nothing going on here. We're down to, oh, I didn't even realize all these others should be at the nursing warnings. These are all going to expire soon anyways. 9 minutes. And yeah, these are all going to expire soon, but I don't like the look of that thunderstorm. Is there a little bit of rotation starting to develop here? I think there might be. Right here, near Rosewell. This could get 20 to 1. It's a bit north of the actual area, but we'll see. That's weird. Let me take a look at the velocity one more time. Yeah, it's like a broad circulation here. We'll see if it gets warned. If not, a lot of 1 to 2 inch size hail reports here. Remember, the actual outlook from earlier was upwards of 3 inches in diameter of hail. And the thunderstorms near Springfield are now starting to die off, as I kind of expected. It's actually breaking apart the thunderstorms near Ohio, too. We have a good supercell going near Portland. And it's snowing in northern Maine. I wonder how much they've gotten so far. That would have about, well, let me see here. About a coating? We can update these numbers for the watches and warnings for the severe stuff. Down to 27. That didn't drop by much. Actually, that dropped a whole lot. Oh, 27. And then for the winter stuff, we are down to 8. That's a drastic change from 146 when the blizzard was happening, but actually, this is the first time I've actually. Why didn't they issue a? Why is there not hot? What do they call it? Extreme heat warnings here. You're dealing with temperatures in the hundreds, and this still should be daytime here. I'm pretty sure. Let me see here. Well, no, it's nighttime, but no, it's still daytime. However, It's in the evening, and how is it 100 in the evening? They must have not updated their stations, that's probably why. But 100 degrees is crazy. With a dew point of 18, that and the wind is gusting at 36 miles per hour with a sustained wind at 26 miles per hour. Let's see if we can find a crazy one. Okay. Come on, there's gotta be a crazy one here somewhere. 36 miles per hour, that's the highest I've seen yet. 24 miles per hour. 38 miles per hour. 37 miles per hour. 40 miles per hour, that's the highest one yet. That's a good gust. 38 miles per hour. Go over here. I think these are actually fires, I don't think this is precipitation. Little spotty fires going on. Remember, this is a red flag warning, so it's no shock, no surprise. 36 mile per hour. I think we're really gonna find the highest ones over here in the mountains, probably 20 miles per hour. And then in the wind advisories, where you probably expect the highest wind gusts. Well, that's not. Nope. 22 miles per hour. 35 miles per hour. How about we go right in high wind warning? High wind watch, or excuse me. And that's most likely just to confirm. Okay, that's most likely wildfires. Yes, the radar can pick up wildfires. 31 miles per hour. A lot of 31 miles. A lot of 30s to 40 mile per hour wind gusts here. 30 miles per hour. 26 miles per hour. 93 miles per hour. I'm kidding. Not 93 miles per hour. That would be a bit excessive. 31 miles per hour. Let's go farther here. 29 miles per hour. 47, that's the highest I've seen yet. 39 miles per hour. And then straight out of the northeast. The wind is sustained at 29 miles per hour, which is impressive. 31 miles per hour. Let's see up here. This is probably where you're going to find maybe the higher wind gusts. They get really gusty up here. Really gusty. 5 miles per hour. Let's check in the mountains. 46 miles per hour. So enough to cause power outages. 40 miles per hour. 23 miles per hour for a wind gust. Wow. Well, back to the severe weather. Yep, look at this. We've erased. Alright, we do have the special weather statement that has just been issued for Fort Wayne for this incoming line of thunderstorms. Is it's probably going to get once again destroyed by this here extra convection, but it will probably survive until about Huntertown. 40 mile per hour wind gusts and penny sized hail can be expected. Tornado warning, this one's going to expire in 31 minutes. It's been extended actually, or maybe not, excuse me, but Hawk Echo and everything like that near Fredericktown. Strong rotation here. Not much of anything on the ground there, I don't think. That was another thunderstorm down here. 60 mile per hour gust and ping pong ball size hail. Let's see. 1.5-inch size hail. These are winded. Excuse me. These are wind advisories, so these are going to be higher. 28 miles per hour. New, this is fire, isn't it? Severe, why do they even have that there? Well, new members of skill discussion to add to the list. It's an unlikely watch, but we'll still put it up anyways.